Welcome to the Great American Collectibles Show, seen Wednesdays on the Sports Collectors Daily Facebook page and the Great American Collectibles Facebook page. You can also listen to us on iHeartRadio, Pandora, and Spotify. The Great American Collectibles Show is brought to you by the National Sports Collectors Convention and Sports Collectors Daily. Tonight's headlines are brought to you by Sports Collectors Daily. For all your hobby news, features, and more, go to sportscollectorsdaily.com. And now your host, Tom Zappola, and Red Sox Hall of Famer, Rico Petrocelli.
What do you write? What do you pretend to be writing?
Nothing. Just exactly. So anybody watching could think
You're doing something, right?
Yeah. So.
Welcome to the Great American Collectibles Show. Tom Zappola, my partner, Red Sox Hall of Famer, Rico Petrocelli. We've got a good
everybody.
show today. We've got a jam-packed show. We're bringing in Ray right now, Ray Schulte, the marketing guru for the National. And right after Ray, we're bringing in two of the heavyweights in the memorabilia world, JT John Taube from JT Sports and our good friend Brian Dwyer from REA Auctions.
Yeah, they gained a lot of weight, huh?
Oh, yeah, both of them. Absolutely. And by the way, you can watch us on Facebook, YouTube. You can listen to us on any of your favorite platforms. We are not on Instagram. As much as Ray wants us on Instagram, we are not on Instagram. We're on everything else. What else? No, that's about it. Oh, we have a Gax Blast from the Past.
No kidding.
Very excited about this.
Oh, you were telling me about it.
This is historic.
It's going to be good.
Historic. And we also have an On Deck with Rico that Brian sponsors.
Oh,
good questions today. Yeah. All right, let's bring in Mr. Schulte. Raymond, how are you?
I'm doing great. I always enjoy coming on your show. It's always fun.
First of all, where are you? Every time I see you on Facebook, you're climbing a freaking mountain somewhere.
I'm in Arizona, in Scottsdale, Arizona.
Hey, that's where we used to train.
This is
Pikes
something.
Peak.
Pikes Peak?
No, so it was a big steakhouse. I forget the name of it.
That's right. You guys were in Scottsdale.
Yeah.
That's closed there.
Yeah, we closed.
Ray, there's a building somewhere in Scottsdale. You should see if you can find it. I think it's a dry cleaners now, but it's a big building. And Ellen and I ghost wrote the autobiography of Tony DeMarco, former welterweight champ of the world from Boston.
Wow.
And when Tony retired, he moved to Scottsdale, and he opened up a very successful nightclub, Tony DeMarco's Living Room. Somewhere in that city, there is a full rendering of Tony on the side of a building that's still there.
Nice.
You may want to check that out.
Nice.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
In his spare time.
Yeah, there you go. All right, Ray, this is going to be a jam-packed, fantastic, all the indicators are this is going to be one hell of a national. Why don't you kind of throw some teasers out to us?
Yeah, no, the industry is really strong right now. We had a lot of momentum, from last year in Chicago. And, going into this show, we have new management. And, it's been great because it's kind of like opened the book a little bit more for me in terms of being able to do more, looking at expanding my, from the social media to the marketing to the promotional side. And it's been great. And, one of the key things we're going into Cleveland. I mean, first of all, it's a great venue. The IX Center is a great venue.
Beautiful venue.
We were there in 2018, very successful there, great market. But, this year we're going into it. And, one of the things that are different is the fact that we've got 3 trade shows going on inside the IX Center, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We started the trade show. We brought it in Atlantic City. Last year it was very successful, and this year we're kind of expanding it, adding some other elements to it. A little bit more engagement, a little bit more education in terms of the trading cards. So we're very excited about that, and I think with the new management, it's all about experience, and what we're doing there is trying to create as many opportunities for that lifetime memory and we're doing that. One of the things that we're doing is, Mark Evans just finished a documentary on Dick Perez.
By the way, Dick is. They're both coming on the show. We're doing a special show with John and Dick in 2 weeks. They're going to be on for the whole hour with Rico.
Yeah, and I love Dick Press. I've worked with Dick a number of times when I was with Cal and when I was with the Clemente family, and so he's a favorite of mine. But I talked to Mark and he said we've got the screening and can we do an exclusive at the National? I said, hey, well, in years past maybe that wouldn't have happened. This year it was wide open. Said, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, we're going to bring him up on stage too when we're doing. Well, we're going to be broadcasting from the Burkus stage on Friday, I think from 1 to 3. I invited them up, so they'll come up and we'll talk to them a little bit too. That's great.
Did you invite Ray up?
Well, Ray is welcome to join anytime, as long as he brings food.
But one of the other highlights is that we got Rico signing in the TriStar Autograph Pavilion.
I would have signed for half the price, a third of the price. I would have signed.
What price? You get money for this? Nobody told me that.
But along with Rico, we got an A group of players. Pujols, Clemens, Taube, Emmett Smith. I mean, it's Floyd Mayweather. It's just TriStar does a great job for us, and so we'll have 125 athletes, and so it's really going to be rocking, I think, this year in Cleveland.
You know something, Ray, and Rico, you brought this up a zillion times. The thing that has really, really been impressive the last 2, 3, 4 years is it seems as though the demographic of the people coming in, they're getting younger. I mean, just a lot of kids, a lot of teenagers that really seem to be getting into it. Is that a fact?
Well, absolutely. And I've actually traveled to like 6 to 10 shows this year and just trying to get a feel for what's going on from the show perspective. And you're right. It's absolutely right. We have mothers, we have daughters, we have grandparents, and they all bring something special. I think one of the things that helps us as an industry, we've expanded into pop culture, obviously Pokemon, but, international is huge for us. I mean, we've got such a contingent coming in from Canada, Europe, Asia, that we've never seen before. And so it's really, really going to be exciting.
And by the way, Rick and I just did a couple of commercials for the National, and we are going to be announcing, is it okay to announce what it's going to be called? The month of July is going to be called It's Cool to Collect Month. Very, very nice.
Yeah, and that's one of the new management's brand messages. It's cool to collect. And we came up with that. Actually, Joe Dralick came up with that. But it's meant for the industry. It's not meant just for us. We hope everybody takes that and uses it. But it's all about collecting. And one of the things that
he told me that it's a collectible month. He said he came up with it.
I did not.
You said
you
that.
are such a liar.
You said that. I came up with it.
I say I did not say that?
I came up with a new
that is a bold-faced lie.
Oh, God. Now I know. All right, go ahead.
Oh, but I did ask Rico in one of the spots. I asked him what was some of the things he collects, and you know what he said? There were very good answers. Social Security.
Right.
He collects free lunches. He collects a round of golf now and then. You get it. Those are the things that Rico collects.
Well, what do you want? I can't lift anymore.
Ray, it's going to be a great.
I can't wait.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. And
and the other thing too, I just want to say this because we've never done this really before. We've got such a great relationship now. We've had many Zoom calls with the Cleveland Browns, Cavs, Guardians, and they all want to get involved. And, I think it's a testimony to the industry in terms of how, collecting has kind of expanded, has grown. But when I'm talking to the head guy with the Cleveland Browns, he is so giddy. He's so excited because he's got 3 boys that are diehard collectors. Can't wait to come to the show.
That's what it's all about, man.
That's great.
And it's really kind of infectious in terms of what's going on with the Guardians. We've got MLB Network coming in. We've got we've got to do a meet and greet with Manny Ramirez. There's just so many things that we're doing now that it's kind of again experiential and also engaging with our attendees and also with our exhibitors. We got some really cool things planned for our exhibitors as well.
Ray, before we let you go, VIP sign-ups, anything like that you want to just mention?
Yeah, I would strongly recommend that if you're looking at a VIP package, do it now, buy it now, because it will sell out. There's no question about that. Yeah, and you can just go nsccshow.com. You can buy admission tickets. You can buy autograph tickets. You can get your VIP packages, and you can learn a little bit more about what we're doing. We really kind of upgraded our website this year, and again, making it more engaging and more interactive. So, yeah, all the information you need can be on the website, and also follow us on Instagram.
That hurts. All right, Ray. Ray Schulte, Schulte Sports. Look forward to seeing you. We're going to have Joe on. Any one of the three, they're welcome to come on anytime, and we'll get them on in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, and I want to say, Brian and John, both big supporters of the National, and we really appreciate that, and look forward to seeing you in Cleveland too.
All right, Ray Schulte,
Thanks, Ray.
Schulte Sports.
Good to see you.
Ray does
Good
a
to
nice
see
job.
you again.
Take care, Ray.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, let's bring in our two main guests.
Yeah.
Good friends, Mr. JT, John Taube. Look at him. Look how he looks regal. Regal.
I tell you,
John, you look very, very regal. And Brian Dwyer from REA Auctions. John, is that a JT hat?
That is a JT Sports cap, yes.
I'll tell you what. We will swap you one JT for one Great American Collectables.
Okay, I have one for each of you, and I'll give it to you at the National.
Fantastic. Right?
what did he say that last year?
He did
too?
say that last year.
No, I would just, I know you'll do that.
Brian, how are you? How you doing?
Brian,
Good.
Man, you guys have both had a busy run. I know you guys are good friends and you know each other. Today, we want to really get into, and I know, Brian, obviously you deal very heavily in cards, and we're going to talk cards. But, we were talking, and it just seems, is it my imagination, or is the memorabilia part of the hobby really starting to expand? I'm going to ask you that first, Bri.
I think so. I mean, as what I attribute it to is as the prices of these cards continue to increase, the memorabilia looks comparatively to be a good deal and a good buy. And then, just from pure scarcity, how many game used bats are there out there for these players compared to how many cards there are? So, game worn is something that I think a lot of people are coming into. And then other pieces of memorabilia, photography, tickets, they're all getting these fresh eyes.
Yeah, I've liquidated, as I mentioned this a zillion times, I probably have maybe a dozen cards left. I've liquidated everything, trying to gear towards memorabilia because I find it, I did cards for 30 years, and I find it fascinating to have something that is either signed by a player, whether it be a contract or a game-used ticket or something like that. I think it's kind of a neat thing,
But I want to ask, Brian, excuse me, what years, in other words, the players today or maybe even the last 10 years, are they interested in that as far as the memorabilia and stuff like that? Or does it go back from the 30s,
90s, 40s, 20s?
Yeah, all of those. No, even up to the 60s and 70s and to the real vintage.
I mean, I think John would agree that there's collectors for everything. I mean, there's just as much demand for these Mike Trout bats and Ohtani bats as there are for Mantle and Aaron and Mays sometimes. Yeah. I think it's, different things appeal to different collectors. You've got some guys that just want the true blue chips of the old vintage. And then you've got other guys that are buying these modern players because they enjoy watching them and they want a piece of, their favorite players.
Yeah. John, are you seeing that, John, with bats in general?
Yeah, it's, as Brian said, and, we've been discussing, people are beginning to put their thinking caps on and starting to realize that if a card is worth, say, $10,000, $12,000, $15,000 of a player, and a game-used shirt or a bat sells for maybe, a third of that or a fifth of that, people are starting to understand that the real memorabilia, other than a piece of cardboard, and I don't want to slight the cards.
No.
But
you just did.
It's well.
I'm just kidding.
We talked about the Babe Ruth called shot shirt. Okay, people are
crazy, man.
It's going to set records, but still consider that when you look at the value of Marshall Fogel's 52 Topps card.
Good point.
Yeah.
That's a very good point. You
Okay.
know, yeah, no, you're dead on. It just seems as though memorabilia is growing.
coming on,
I
yeah.
want to ask you guys both the question that obviously this just happened recently. With the incorporation now of the Negro League stats into the MLB stats, guys like, I mean, I know Josh Gibson is an exception to the rule, but memorabilia by guys like Sam Jethro or any one of those Negro League players that were considered above good. Do you see that memorabilia increasing in value? Brian, we'll ask you first. Whether it be a card or a game-used bat, shirt, jersey, glove, whatever.
I mean, I think you might see a bump in some of the memorabilia, but for a lot of these guys, it's going to be a pure supply thing, right? The memorabilia just doesn't exist for them. So you could want a Mule Suttles jersey or
Right.
bat, or a Josh Gibson bat or jersey, but good luck finding it. So yeah, I mean, I think that this change will put a spotlight on players that a lot of modern collectors and modern fans didn't know about. But from a memorabilia perspective, I mean, unless John's got him in his vault, I don't know where this stuff is.
Well, what about a guy like Satchel Paige, there's always been some Satchel Paige stuff out there because he's in the Hall of Fame. But does his memorabilia increase in price, or does something like that pretty much stay the same? John? Well,
yeah,
okay,
John.
you can both answer.
Well, I think, since the Negro Leagues has been now absorbed, in the Major League Baseball, with the stats, everything will get us. Yes, there will be a bump. To what extent? As Brian said, it's supply and demand. There is not you can't pick up the phone and make a call
Right.
for a Josh Gibson bat. There's one out there. Okay.
It's probably in the Hall of Fame in Kansas City, Negro League Hall of Fame. Which
Is it, John? Where is
No,
that?
I don't know if it is.
It's in the hands of a private collector.
Is it really?
yeah.
Wow.
But
Yeah,
how about
yeah.
cards? I mean, how many cards will remain?
Well, there were none. I mean, there were none, right? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, from a card perspective, these guys didn't have a lot. I mean, we
Exactly.
sold a 1931 Josh Gibson, I think 18 or 19 years ago, which is the only one known, and it hasn't seen the light of day since. There's Toleteros from 51, but those are post-career for some of these guys.
Yeah.
So,
Rico, what
Yeah,
about Pumpsy Green?
Yeah.
Did you play with him?
Yes.
He was the first black player, right?
The Red Sox, yeah. Finally.
He's passed on, though, right?
I can't say. I don't want to say it because he might
I mean,
be
because
alive. and
I'm
sue
wondering
me.
for a Red Sox fan, now that this stuff has all happened.
But he didn't play in the Negro League.
Oh, I thought he did.
No.
Oh, okay. I thought he did. My apologies then. Anyway,
excellent.
we are chatting with Brian Dwyer and JT, John Taube. We're going to talk about, we brought some memorabilia in for you guys to discuss.
Well, not.
No, it's for comparative purposes.
Yes.
That's what we're going to do.
Comparative.
Why don't we do this? Let's take a break now, and then we come back. We're going to come back with a GAX Blast from the Past. Hey.
Wow, GAX. I'm excited for a GAC.
I dug deep for this.
I know you did.
I dug deep for this piece.
Listen,
That's all I'm saying. And then we're going to get into, with Brian and John, some of the memorabilia that we have, and I want to get their
We
opinions.
should sell GAX hats.
You sell GAX hats. I'm not going to
all
do
right.
that. Forget it. Hang in there. We'll be right back.
Since 1996, Brian Drent and the staff at Denver's Mile High Card Company have led the charge in the collectibles hobby. Mile High is a full-service dealer specializing in buying and selling cards and offers a competitive consignment program for all collectors. Whether it be their computerized want list service, appraisals, or auction services, Mile High has it all. If you've been searching for a company with a selection of high-grade vintage 1888 to 1970 baseball cards and memorabilia that shares your passion, aim high, Mile High. Go to milehighcardco.com or call 303-840-2784 for more information.
For more than 30 years, Robert Edward Auctions has been the industry leader when it comes to helping you realize the most money for your baseball cards and sports memorabilia. In addition to their unparalleled reputation for honesty and integrity, they reach the largest number of bidders in the business and offer lower seller's fees, as well as generous cash advances up front on your valuable material. Contact them today at 908-226-9900. That's 908-226-9900 or at robertedwardauction.com.
Hi, this is Dan from Memory Lane Auctions, here to remind you that the renowned Memory Lane Collectibles Company has served as a beacon of light to the collecting community for the past several decades. Indeed, folks, it has been our utmost privilege and pleasure to provide the most enthusiastic collectors with an abundance of the finest sports cards and memorabilia for America's most coveted sports personalities via our world-class auctions. Whether you choose either a private sale transaction or the auction route, Memory Lane cordially invites you to reach out to us to maximize the value of your prized possessions. Also, it is not just sales that we pride ourselves on being the best of the rest, because if you are seeking a particular keepsake for your esteemed gathering, we will be relentless in our quest to find that special piece to fulfill your collecting dreams. So no time to wait. Reach out to us today for the purposes of capitalizing on our unparalleled marketing capabilities. Simply pick up the phone and dial 877-606-5263. That's 877-606-LANE, or find us on the World Wide Web at www.memorylaneinc.com. Now is the time for your valued consignment to ultimately become another one of Memory Lane's record-setting prices.
This is Brian Drent, president of Mile High Card Company. Is your sports card and memorabilia collection properly insured? For easily replaced personal property, homeowners insurance is all most people need. But for prized possessions that you may have spent a lifetime collecting, it doesn't go nearly far enough. Collectables Insurance Services has been insuring for over 50 years. They offer a full range of protection and a $0 deductible at an affordable rate with no appraisals required. I know because they insure my collection. If you have a minute, go to collectinsure.com and learn more about insuring your personal card or memorabilia collection.
How would you like to own the bat that was used by your favorite player when he hit that towering home run or game-winning base hit? Now look no further than JT Sports, specializing in the sale and authentication of professional game-used bats. As the official authenticators of professional model game-used bats for PSA DNA, JT Sports will guarantee the authenticity of any bat purchased from them. JT Sports also buys and sells game-worn uniforms, gloves, and baseball equipment. The unique quality of the collectible is what JT Sports is all about. Give them a call at 609-487-8003 or check them out at GameUseBats.com.
Okay, we are back, and it is time now for a GAX blast from the past.
This is good.
Now, last week we had Mike Provenzal from Heritage Auctions on. As everybody knows, they are going to be auctioning off the called shot jersey that belonged to Babe Ruth. And we're hearing numbers like $25, $30 million it's going to go for. Now, I was able to dig deep, I mean real deep.
Deep, huh?
And I found some amazing vintage footage of the called shot. Sort of. Does that qualify it? The called shot.
Kinda, yeah.
Kinda. Mm-hmm. All right, let's take a look.
What are they, booing?
There's the booing again, which means Babe Ruth is coming to bat again.
Flip the bat. Guy rolls up a ball.
What's the matter? One of you guys lose your head? Come on, play ball.
Watch the point. Don't forget Johnny.
Oh, yeah. There it is.
the point.
Listen to that crowd boo. It's because Babe just pointed over the center field bleachers as if to say, that is where he will hit the ball.
Oh, man.
Steve right in two.
Babe Ruth has just made that same gesture again with 2 strikes on him. He pointed to the flagpole in the center field bleachers.
Now there's little Johnny.
Yeah,
that's where he means to park that next pitch.
Sit down and rest, kid. I'm riding this one out of the park.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
you and who else?
Me and a young pal of mine.
Here it goes.
He did it! It's a home run! In the center field bleachers, right
Now, look at the kid rises from the dead.
Yeah, I was saying now he's okay.
That was the most dramatic
This was-
gesture ever seen on a baseball diamond. The Chicago fans are cheering their heads off when a man whom just a moment ago they scorned and ridiculed. They'll be talking about this as long as baseball lives.
Yeah, that movie, they'll be
Babe
talking
Ruth,
about it a
with
long
only
time.
one chance left, actually
William
called
Bendix.
his shot, as if determined to smash that ball into a certain spot.
Well,
That was a good one. That
well,
was
that was the only piece that I could come up with that was historical
hysterical.
for the Babe Ruth called shot. But anyway,
By the way, I read some stuff on that, and one of the things, it's known that he hit a breaking pitch. I forget the pitcher's name, but he was a pretty good pitcher. And he hit a breaking pitch to straightaway, center field. It was a bomb.
and that at bat, you mean?
yeah,
Oh.
yeah, the
It
one
was
that he
Charlie
hit.
Root, wasn't it? Who was the pitcher, Brian? Wasn't it Charlie Root?
Yes.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, it was Charlie Root. All right, let's get back to Brian and JT. John, different bat companies. I was on your site, and it's just amazing. Companies like Old Hickory, DTB, Victus, Marucci, H&B. Is H&B still the go-to bat for major league players, or are they all over the place now?
Well, they have their own market share, but it's nothing like it used to be. I mean, when you call it the way it was. I mean, prior to the proliferation of all the maple bats, it was basically Louisville Slugger and Adirondack, and they were supplying college ball, the minor leagues, the major leagues, independent leagues. I mean, it was tremendous amount of business.
Have any of these metal bat companies gone to wood for major league players also? In other words, they have the metal bats and wooden bats. Are there any companies that do both?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, there are. Well, Louisville is
I didn't
a
realize
perfect
that.
example. Yeah, the TPX
sure,
brand. They
Kids.
swing. The composite bats now. It's a whole different game, and they got to be careful at the college level with these aluminum and composite bats.
It's going to kill somebody.
Exactly.
Brought the Adirondacks to the major leagues was Joe Torre's brother.
Frank?
He came in with an RV kind of. What are those silver RVs? And he actually made bats right there. They had a grinder. No kidding. And he would give you one.
So
right
did
there.
he start the company, John?
No, he just
repped them. He was a rep.
He was there in the beginning. That's correct.
In the beginning, yeah. I remember he came. And,
So what did you use? No, in the minors.
I use an M110 and a fungo bat.
Use a fungo bat, huh?
Yeah. M110.
Brian, does JT authenticate bats for you occasionally? When
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, when someone brings it in.
Yeah, without a doubt. If we don't send them to him, he's come up to our office. He just did a big authentication for Huggins and Scott. So he's the go-to guy for these bats.
John, you are, man. You are the go-to guy. I mean,
Yeah.
it's amazing.
Of course. I mean, he's an expert on it. John, do you think there's it's a guess, I guess. There's a lot of bats still out there, older bats, and even guys in the 50s and 60s. Ton of
Rico, I'm every day. My staff will tell you. We are still surprised at the amount of material that comes through the front door. The amount of bats that are out there. Brian just alluded to the collection that Huggins and Scott came across. There were 500 bats in that collection.
Are you kidding?
Okay. Yes, and there are other sizable collections that are still out there.
Brian, are you ever flabbergasted? I mean, you don't seem to get rocked very easily when it comes to memorabilia or cards coming into your facility. Every once in a while, are you like knocked off your feet with a piece that comes in? It's like, oh my God. Have you ever had that moment?
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, we handle, as you alluded to earlier, more cards than memorabilia. We certainly do both. But yeah, there's stuff like John just said, packages coming in on a daily basis where we said, how does this exist? How has this stayed under the wraps for decades? We have items that are coming up in this summer auction where if people knew about them, they'd be going nuts, but they've just been sitting in closets for decades.
Yeah.
So that's what makes it fun. That's why we answer the phone. That's why we answer the email. You never know what's going to be on the other side.
That's unbelievable.
What if there's a collector listening and watching, and he says, geez, I want to get some of this stuff. What do you suggest that they do? Go around and or
what do you mean?
Well,
I'm a private sale or go to the auction?
No, they want to get the bats, the stuff. Where do they go to?
They're collecting them.
No. I mean, if they're not collecting, they want to collect.
Where do you find them?
Yeah, I mean, where's places to look? I know you got individuals, owners, of it, but is there any antique like you?
Nah, I mean, you don't find that stuff in antique shops
just saying,
anymore, do you? I mean, does that still, like flea markets, yard sales, out of the way antique shops? Is there still a possibility that you can find quality?
Who knows, right?
Cards and memorabilia at those places?
Brian, Phil?
I mean, I say never. Every time I think that, the internet, everybody's got the internet. Nobody's going to let something go in an off the wall area. We hear about something being bought at a flea market or being bought at a garage sale. So never say never. I think for a lot of these collectors, that's the thrill of the hunt for them and the thrill of the chase. And then, guys like John and I just sit back and wait for them to come to us in a lot of the instances.
The material is still out there. It's not as broad and plentiful as it once was. But we still, I still have collectors call me something that they found at a flea market turns out to be good.
Every year in November, Ellen and I go away for a long weekend. We've been doing it for years. We stay at a really nice hotel up in Maine, right on the coast, and we go up on Friday night, and on Saturday afternoons, her and I hit on Route 1 in Algonquin, Maine, and Wells and Biddeford. There's a zillion antique shops. 4 or 5 years ago, we hit every one. We found one item.
Okay.
A Rico Petrocelli mini bat.
No.
It was the only thing that we found.
But still, I'd look around at everything. You never know, like you guys say. But I'm just saying, I'm thinking like a collector. Where can I get this stuff? I don't have it, but should I go around to people? You have anything? I don't know.
Let's look at this. All right, so John, this is Mr. Petrocelli's game-used Red Sox glove that you used for how many years as a third baseman?
5 years, 6 years.
5 or 6 years. This is a Wilson? Yeah, it's a Wilson glove.
Wilson, yeah.
It's a Wilson.
That's a Wilson 2000 dual hinge.
Right.
Web.
You're correct.
Yep.
Dual hinge. Now,
Dual hinge web.
could you have?
I needed a lot of hinges, I'll tell you.
So, when you took over, did you already own this glove, or did they?
No, Wilson. We used to have the companies come to spring training every year.
Yep.
And they show us if we saw. I had signed with Spalding, and they come with gloves, and you could take one. Then it went to two that you could take, because you signed with them, and that's it. And now, so Wilson came, and I was moved over to the third bay. I said, I got to get a third baseman glove, a little bigger glove, and so I picked the A2000.
It's a nice glove.
Yeah, it's solid.
John,
beautiful leather.
Is there anything he should do to preserve this for posterity reasons? I mean, or should he just not touch it?
Well, I can't. It looks like it's in fairly good shape.
It really is, Rick. It really is.
Yeah, it's a beautiful glove.
It's not cracked. It's not splitting.
No.
But I would. Are you doing anything now, Rico? Are you putting any saddle soap or neat's foot oil on it?
No, a little spaghetti and meatballs. No.
Marinara sauce.
No, nothing. I didn't touch it. I have actually my shortstop glove also, but I didn't take that because it's smaller. You got to get rid of the ball. But anyway, this glove was, it was a great glove. Really, it was a longer glove. Than the shortstop's glove. So, you had to reach for
How many
balls.
errors did you make with this?
About 405.
No, but I tell you what, there's a piece of film that I saw recently, and this was the glove you used. You made a spectacular play off of Brooks Robinson. You remember that play?
No.
He hit a shot, and you dove to your left, and you threw him out. It was unbelievable.
Well, thank you.
That
Why
was a
don't you
nice
put
play.
that up on
All right, so John,
Gax moment.
as a game-used glove, obviously with a Red Sox Hall of Famer, this has some value. You don't have to say how much, but I'm assuming it has some value.
I'll let it go for 5,000-6,000.
Rico is right on the money.
Whoa! Don't say that.
See? Now,
I'm kidding. No, I would say, Rico, honestly, being the outstanding all-star that you were,
Wait a minute.
Red Sox history.
Red Sox collector.
Sox, it's got to be worth, I'd say, $2,500 to $3,500.
Ooh, I thought he was going to say 1,000.
no, but that's pretty cool.
No, it's nice, yeah.
All right, so now I have a glove here, John, that my father, I don't know if you guys had S&H green stamps when you were kids. You remember what those were, John?
I do remember.
So my dad,
unfortunately,
I was 5 or 6 years old, and my dad cashed in his S&H green stamps, and I'm a righty, by the way, and he brought me a lefty, Den Kirk
you
glove.
got a deal,
Done, and it's a Vic Wertz model.
Okay.
Den Kirk glove. Now, I'm sure this has tremendous value.
Oh, yeah.
Tremendous value.
Tremendous.
What are we looking at here, John?
$15.
You should do it. Sell it.
$15. Sold. No, all kidding aside, though, store-bought gloves from the 20s, 30s, and 40s. And the same thing with bats. Is there some value there? Like, for instance, a store-bought Lou Gehrig bat from 1931. Some value there?
If you find something, well, put it this way. If you find that Lou Gehrig bat and it's 31 inches, 32 inches in length, there's not a lot of value to it. But if you get into a Louisville Slugger, a 40 LG model, same length, same weight in that area that Lou used, then you can find something that's a couple $1,000.
Really? Brian, what about baseball hats? Now, I see them, often on your site, game-used hats that come in from consigners. So this is the hat that Rico wore when they clinched the 1967 pennant. And once the crowd crashed the infield, there was thousands of people, some punk stole this off of Rico's head and took off with it. And it was given back to Rico less than a year ago. I think you guys know the story. Brian, do you know the story?
First time I'm hearing it.
Well, it's an interesting story. This hat was stolen by one of the Red Sox owners when he was 17 years old. Jim DiBenedetto. He was a punk at the time, a young kid, on the field, took it off of Rico's head and took off into the crowd. Now we fast forward 57 years or whatever, and Rico's at a banquet for the Italian American Sports Hall of Fame in Boston, and Jim DiBenedetto is getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. And after the induction ceremony in the banquet, he walks up to Rico and hands him the hat and says, "I'm the kid that stole this off your head." So, pretty cool story.
Yeah, that's it.
Brian, what kind of for game used baseball caps from? Boy, your head got big. From moments in time that were kind of like, for instance, the pennant clincher for the '67 Impossible Dream. Is there value in some of these hats?
Yeah, without a doubt. And I mean, I think everything's incremental, right? So like a hat's not going to be as valuable as a jersey sometimes, or, a bat. But it's something that's going to connect collectors to the players. So yeah, I mean, we've seen game used hats go for hundreds of dollars. We've seen them go for thousands of dollars. Just depends on a lot of different factors.
Brian, what about contracts? I seem to be, I don't know why, I have an affinity for baseball contracts, old ones, old timers. Yeah. Is that a pretty stagnant market, or is there some value with, really cool contracts? I think I bought one from you, didn't I? Was it you?
Probably did.
It was a Grover Cleveland Alexander one, I think it was from you, that he signed the year after he bitched to them about Walter Johnson getting the same amount of money that he wanted to get paid. And I have that. I have a couple of contracts. Are those pretty stagnant right now, or is there some value with contracts?
No, there's definite value. I mean, I would wager to say that nobody has sold more contracts than REA has. We've had some incredible ones. We had Jackie Robinson's 49 MVP season contract. We just had Hank Aaron's 74 contract for the Braves in our last auction. And collectors love them. I mean, typically there's only 2 copies, one for the player, one for the ball club. And that Grover Cleveland that you got, I mean, he's a tough signature, came right from the team files.
Yeah.
They're a cool piece of history.
Nice. Yeah. I don't know. There's something about them that I really enjoy.
Yeah. What about when a player gets released from a club? They also, what happens is you go in, you have to sign. We're giving you your release.
Where's yours?
Please sign me. I got it home. Yeah, no, I got it home. Would that be worth? I'm talking about if they did it years and years ago.
It's funny because Rico's release says, "Don't leave the door open on your way out."
No, they gave me photos.
Clarify. Is it a release, Rico, or is it a restraining order?
The combination. No, I walked in. The manager wanted to see me. I said,
I ain't going in there.
I ain't going in. No.
Yeah, what would have happened if you didn't go in there?
Well, they would have carried me in. No, I don't want to go. Well, no, but I don't know if they did that years and years ago when they let a guy go. I don't know when it started, but you had to sign.
And, we've seen, like, we just sold a collection of documents from the Cubs that ran from the teens up through the 50s. And we saw transfer agreements, we saw waiver agreements, we saw release agreements. So there was always some type of paperwork related to these transactions. Obviously, the contracts are the more desirable, but there's a collector for almost anything, I would imagine.
All right, we're going to take a quick break.
Can I ask?
Go ahead.
Can I ask a question real quick?
Oh, of course.
Rico.
Yes.
When the release was given to you, did you know it was coming, or did they surprise you?
I had an idea it was coming because there was
when they wouldn't let him into the clubhouse for lunch.
No, that's a story. You wise. No, but Yeah, I had a good idea that it was coming, so it wasn't a surprise too much.
Yeah, that's because when he walked into the locker room, Butch Hobson's picture was on his locker.
That's right. You know. Yeah, Butch was ready. He was ready.
All right, listen, we're going to take a quick break. Brian is in the house. JT is in the house. We're going to come back with On Deck with Rico, and then we have a very, very valuable bat that we want to talk to John about. Hang in there. We'll be right back.
Pristine Auction is a family-owned and operated online auction specializing in autographed memorabilia, sports cards, coins, art, and collectibles. Since their founding in 2010, they've grown to 2 facilities in Phoenix, Arizona, totaling over 60,000 square feet. Jared Cavalier and an incredible staff of over 150 team members serve a very large customer base and enjoy every minute of it. By working with leading authentication companies, Pristine ensures all items are 100% authentic. In addition, third-party authenticators regularly travel to Pristine Auction to provide authentication services on site. Pristine Auction strives to operate its business in a way that's honoring to God, their families, and their customers. With a strong focus on speed, quality, and premier customer service, their mission is to be the leading online auction for every level of collector and fan. Pristine also works for Hope Sports and Identity Hoops International, traveling to Mexico to build houses for the less fortunate. Pristine Auction offers several online auction formats with thousands of auctions ending each day. For more information, go to pristineauction.com. That's Pristine Auction, the best in the business.
If you are a discerning collector interested in owning the most important pieces in the hobby, look no further than Leland's Auctions. The original sports auction and appraisal house, Leland's was established in 1985 by legendary Pioneer founder Joshua Leland Evans. And today, President Mike Hefner carries on their tradition. From the Tom Brady card and memorabilia collection to the famed Boston Garden auction to high-end card auctions from every major sport, Leland's has always maintained the highest standards. Go to Lelands.com and get your bid in. That's Leland's, the hobby's leading sports auction house for 4 decades.
It's often been said that championships are won on the practice field, and world records come only to those willing to work harder than everybody else. Heritage Auctions is the world's largest collectibles auctioneer because we believe that becoming the best is only an invitation to the challenge of remaining the best. This requires the skills of the hobby's top experts, capable of identifying and maximizing value for our consigners. It requires the most visited website in the industry, courting a global audience of collectors over 1.5 million strong. It requires a dedicated press department that expands our global reach far beyond the entrenched hobby marketplace. It's hard work, but a simple premise. Present the finest collectibles to the largest population of potential buyers, and world records will come. We invite all listeners to put the unmatched power of Heritage Auctions to work for you. Auction evaluations are always free, and our commission-based fee structure ensures that our interests are always aligned. The highest possible price for your collectibles. There will always be new world records to chase, so let's chase them together. Visit our website at ha.com and request your no-obligation review today.
Hi, this is Dan from Memory Lane Auctions, here to remind you that the renowned Memory Lane Collectibles Company has served as a beacon of light to the collecting community for the past several decades. Indeed, folks, it has been our utmost privilege and pleasure to provide the most enthusiastic collectors with an abundance of the finest sports cards and memorabilia for America's most coveted sports personalities via our world-class auctions. Whether you choose either a private sale transaction or the auction route, Memory Lane cordially invites you to reach out to us to maximize the value of your prized possessions. Also, it is not just sales that we pride ourselves on being the best of the rest, because if you are seeking a particular keepsake for your esteemed gathering, we will be relentless in our quest to find that special piece to fulfill your collecting dreams. So no time to wait. Reach out to us today for the purposes of capitalizing on our unparalleled marketing capabilities. Simply pick up the phone and dial 877-606-5263. That's 877-606-LANE, or find us on the World Wide Web at www.memorylaneinc.com. Now is the time for your valued consignment to ultimately become another one of Memory Lane's record-setting prices.
Hey, I'm Mike Petroselli. If your company is looking for the best in marketing and promotional items, you'll hit a home run with Petroselli Marketing. With over 8,000 suppliers and 650,000 imprint-ready items, we can get your company the visibility it needs to get your maximum exposure. Whether it be office promotions, wearables, automotive, sports items, and everything in between, Petroselli Marketing can do it all. Our design staff will even work with you from concept to delivery and customize your products. At Petroselli Marketing Group, we will get your brand in front of your audience. Contact us at info@petrosellimkt.com or call us at 603-880-3202. That's Petroselli Marketing, where no dream is impossible.
Yeah, you can go to 800, that is, 860-4263, and also get to the showroom. And also, it's a nationwide company, excuse me.
Michael's done a good job at that.
Yeah, go to Info Petroselli. Go to the website, petrosellimkt.com. Well, you'll see everything there. By the way.
No, we're going to do this first. It's time for our segment, On Deck with Rico, brought to us by Brian and the great staff at REA Auctions. Don't forget to go to get your bid in by going to robertedwardauctions.com. That's Robert Edward Auctions for extraordinary results and extraordinary service.
Number 6 on your roster. Number 1 in our hearts. Ron Dakovic Petroselli.
All right, Rico, this question, a 3-part question submitted by Charles Chuck McCoy. You ready? This was an easy one. What was your favorite restaurant in Boston as a player, number 1, your favorite dish at that restaurant, and your favorite cocktail? What was your favorite restaurant when you were playing?
It was Pier 4.
Really?
Anthony's Pier 4, and he had five restaurants there, and they were all great. And it was a great restaurant.
That was a gigantic restaurant.
Big restaurant right on the water in Boston. And I loved fish. Not cod, but...
haddock?
Haddock. I loved haddock. They had... stuff on top of it.
The baked stuffed haddock with the breadcrumbs?
Yeah, with the breadcrumbs. So
I make
good.
that.
And
I make that.
No kidding.
Really good.
Well,
you know what I use?
When am I coming?
I use Ritz crackers.
All right, no, I'll go.
All right, so
anyway,
Anthony's was right next door to Jimmy's Harborside.
Right, that was great.
They're
too.
both gone now.
Yeah.
All right, so
And,
Anthony's was your favorite restaurant. Your favorite dish was baked stuffed haddock.
Baked stuffed haddock. And
I'll make it for you someday.
And a drink, I'll take Jack Daniels and Coke, or the Captain
Captain
and
Morgan?
Coke.
Captain and Coke.
Yeah, so either
You weren't
one.
a big drinker as a player,
No,
though.
I have one drink, a little glass of wine maybe with dinner.
Who was the biggest drinker on the team?
I don't know.
Come on.
I don't know.
In your opinion.
I don't know. I honestly don't.
Let me ask you this question. Did anybody ever come trashed? You don't have to mention a name. Did anybody ever come trashed to a game? A player?
No.
I don't believe that.
That's the truth.
No one did?
You know what happened one time? He was our catcher. He was 67. Our catcher, Bob.
Russ Gibson?
No, Bob.
Tillman.
Who?
Bob Tillman. Bob Tillman.
Yeah.
Tillman.
Bob Tillman. What's his name? No, wait a minute. The manager calls him in. We just traded you. And he was, what? 67. We were, going great. And he went out, got so drunk, right? He started for Williams's room in the hotel, banging on the doors. He needed 4 or 5 guys to get him off. He was a big strong son of a gun.
Oh, God.
Great guy, and that was such a big disappointment.
Bob Tillman. Yeah, he wasn't bad either.
No, he
Couldn't
wasn't
hit.
a drunkard. He just was this one.
All right, listen, before we get back to these two gentlemen, tell us about the CSA
Well,
shows.
I got to have folks, at my age, 62, I have to read glasses. CSA Shows is proud to present the Chantilly Show being held on June 21st to the 23rd. Breathe. Held at the Dulles Expo Center in Chantilly, Virginia, just minutes from the Dulles International Airport. Celebrating 28 years at the same location, there will be over 450 plus dealer tables exhibiting on over 125,000 square feet of space. With both vintage sports cards and memorabilia as well as modern-day sports treasures, you won't have to look very far for that special card, bat, ball, or autograph. Major auction houses and third-party grading companies will be on site to assist you with your collecting and authentication needs. Some of your favorite superstars will be on hand, including Trevor Lawrence. Ooh, he's good. Jamar Chase, Emmitt Smith, Mean Joe Green, Michael Irvin, Ray Lewis, and many more. Over 30 guests in total. For more information, go to csashows.com. That's the Chantilly show where you can find all of your sports collectible treasures. That's it.
Very nice. Hey, Brian, tell us about your June 13th auction, the Encore auction coming up.
Yeah, we've got a great monthly auction scheduled to launch next week. Should have over 3,000 lots. We're selling the second half of a great registry collection, so high-grade PSA sets from the 60s. Some phenomenal cards. We just got in a 1915 Ruth postcard from the Red Sox team, 1915. That'll be in there. Cracker.
See, that's the stuff I like.
Yeah, that's great stuff.
Is that ticket that we talked about going to be in that auction or a future auction?
That'll be in our summer auction. So we're launching an auction the day before the National opens in July. It'll be our big premier catalog auction, and that'll be full of these.
Some really cool stuff.
It's great stuff.
Why don't you grab that bat, John? So this was, I asked Rico to bring a game news back, right? So what does he bring? He does, all his bats are at his kid's house, so he brings in a fungo bat from when you played.
Yeah, yes. You said bring something, so this is, look at the wood, how it stayed nice.
It's a fungo bat.
But wait a minute. H&B had arguably the best wood.
It's all about the wood. It's all about the wood.
It is. I mean, you used to, guys, Ted Williams.
So who hit?
Yes, they used to send bats back.
So whose hands were on this that used to hit to you?
Johnny Pesky, Bobby Dorr, Cy Young.
No, so John, if he could prove the provenance of that, it's something like a fungo bat, couple $100.
Well, it depends.
Boston Red Sox.
That is a team fungo bat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Pesky, some of the other coaches, they have their own names on their fungo bats.
Oh.
Jeez.
Okay. They tend to be worth, obviously, a little bit more money. But a team fungo bat like that, even with provenance, a few $100.
Well, I'll take it.
A few $100.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, interesting.
Send the check.
I wish you would have brought a gamer.
I don't have one.
Your kids have them.
Well,
which is okay. All right, listen, we got about 2 minutes left. You guys are both going to be at the National. Any surprises? Brian, you first. Any teasers that we're going to see on display?
Yeah, we're working on our display right now. It'll be our biggest display ever. We'll be in the corporate section. We're going to be announcing in advance of the show some pretty special collections that we have. We're going to be selling a Hall of Famers collection that we're excited to announce. A lot of good things in the works.
How about you, JT?
Same. We're putting together the inventory right now for the show. It's going to be highlighted by, current players like Ohtani, Juan Soto, Aaron Judge. And we'll also have the Bambino from 1932.
Very cool. Very cool. Very cool.
The National is fabulous.
We're looking forward to a great show.
Yeah. All right. Before I let you guys go, quick question for you. Brian, you first. Yes or no? Do Acuna cards go down in value now?
Why? So he's on the DL.
Well, he's out for the season. Oh. Brian?
Yeah, I think at least temporarily they'll go down in value.
JT, what about the bat?
Yeah, ditto.
No kidding.
Yeah, it's just the nature of the collector.
Of the modern collector.
That's correct.
All right, guys, thanks so much for coming on.
Yeah, it was
you
great,
guys know
man.
what you mean
Great.
to us. You guys, both of you guys have been with us since day one.
We thank you.
And we thank you very much for the support. Rico, have a great week.
You too. And,
I'll see you
guys.
The next time you're going to be back, we're going to have Dick Perez on with us, the great famous artist. That'll be fun. Next week, Joe Orlando is going to be co-hosting with JM and I. Joe's a good man. And with that being said, guys, thank you very much.
Thanks
and
a lot,
to our
guys.
viewers and listeners, happy collecting.
Take care.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.